Good evening, viewers. Welcome again to the channel Smart Learning, all of my viewers, friends and students. In my channel, I have discussed from the very beginning, from the alphabet to the different grammatical topics of the French language. Today, I am presenting in this video a very important topic to all of my viewers and students. This is a very important topic for all who are interested to learn the language is the accents in French language. Accents is a very important part. Without knowing accents, without having the sound knowledge in the accents, use of accents, you can never speak fluently the language, you cannot write correctly the language. So that the accents in French language is a very important part of the language. Before starting today's session, I am requesting once again to all of my viewers and students and friends to subscribe the channel Smart Learning so that all the lessons uploaded in the channel you can get it in time. Let's start the today's session. Thank you. Let's start today's session. L'accent, accent in French. L'accent, accent in French is a very important topic. One by one I am discussing the important accents in French language. The first accent, number one, l'accent aigu. In English it is called acute accent. L'accent aigu. For example, it is used on E. Without accent, E becomes O. But when this type of accent, it is a right hand side aligned straight line, is used on E, it becomes A. Pronunciation becomes A. Pronunciation becomes A when accent aigu is used. Exemplary word is été. Été means summer, season, summer. Another example is ane. Ane is year. Year. Another example is te. Tea. All these are some example of accent aigu. Okay. Whenever you are reading something and you are getting this accent, you are going through some paragraph or story, you are getting this accent, the pronunciation you should remember, it will be a without accent, but becomes a. The exemplary word ete, ane, te, this type of pronunciation. Okay. It is very important for writing also. If you are writing and you have missed some accents or you are not using these accents, it will be totally wrong. Where these accents are there, you must have to use this accent. Proper accents must be used. Okay. So it is a very important part of language. Now, next accent is accent grave. It is called grave accent. Grave accent is used on A, E, U, etc. It is a opposite, that is left hand side aligned line, this type. Okay. But I am giving you some examples. Is a word with grave accent. Another word is these are some words with grave accent. Okay. So what happens without this accent? The pronunciation of the alphabet E is a. But whenever aksa grave is used on E, it becomes the more flattened pronunciation. Père, mère, frère. Père means father. Mère means mother. Frère means brother. This type of flattened pronunciation comes. Whenever you get these accents when going through some paragraphs or stories, you have to pronounce properly. That is, the pronunciation of E becomes more flattened. Okay, am I clear? Now is a very interesting thing. These accents used on A, U and E. But we have already learned some words with grave accent on E. But if it is used on A and U, the pronunciation doesn't differ, but the meaning differs. I'm giving you the live example. If A is written, only A, meaning is has. He has, she has, this type, meaning is has, the verb to have, having something, okay. But when you are using grave accent on A, pronunciation becomes same. That is, it is also a, it is also a. No change. Without accent, grave accent, the pronunciation is a. With grave accent, the pronunciation is a. But meaning changes. Without grave accent, the meaning is has, to having, that is having, to have something. And a with grave accent, it becomes to or in. For example, a Paris, in Paris. This type of use. Similarly, the grave accent used on you, without accent, ou becomes u. U means or. But when this grave accent is used on you, that is u, it becomes where. Where? Where he is going, where are you going, this, where, meaning changes. The ultimate result is the grave accent when used on A and U, the pronunciation of the word doesn't differ. Only the meaning changes. This is the main thing. Meaning changes. Okay. So here the pronunciation, please note that pronunciation is same. A. With accent, without accent. Pronunciation is same, but without accent the meaning is has. With accent meaning is to or in. Example, a Paris, in Paris, in English. O U without accent meaning is or. O U with accent, grave accent, with accent grave meaning is where. Okay. That's all for the grave accent. Now the next accent is laksa circumflex. Circumflex accent. This is a caret-like sign. This type, caret-like sign on E, on U, on O used. Say this type. This is a circumflex accent. For example, math, foray. These are some examples with circumflex accent. Hotel, hotel. So there is no difference in pronunciation, or actually there is no detailed explanation of using this accent, but whenever this accent is to be used, you must have to use this accent. Math, but if we compare with the English, then we see there is a S is missing. The function of the circumflex accent, that is circumflex accent, suppressing S. That M A accent circumflex te, math. Math is must of the sheep. Foray, if you compare with English, that is forest. Foray is forest. In English, forest. Hotel, in English, hostel. So we see that it suppresses S in case of whenever we compare with English. Okay. Now the next accent is Ak Laksa Sedil. Laksa Sedil is used on C. It is a tail-like structure below C. Okay. And it is when used when C is before O, C is before A, and C is before U. Then Aksa Sedil is used. Actually, CO, CA, CU, there is no meaning in French. Whenever this position occurs, then you have to use Aksa Sedil. That is CO, CA, CU. This type of explanation. CO, example, garçon. Garçon is a very good example. You have already got garçon means boy. But if you miss this accent, it will be garcon. There is no meaning. Sa. Sa, say with this accent, sabha. Sabha. Sabha is a what? Sabha. Say for example, R-E-C aksa sedil U. Rasu. Rasu is something received, already received. Sabha is okay. Garso is boy. So if C is before O, C before A, C before U, then you must have to use this accent. This is called accent sedil, and it is a tail-like structure below C. Okay. It is a tail-like structure below C. Accent sedil. Below C it is a tail-like structure. Without this accent, there is no meaning of the word. Okay. Now, another very important accent is Laksa Trema. Laksa Trema is a dot-like thing. For example, Laksa Trema on I. A live example of the word is a word with the use of aksa trema. what happens when aksathrema is used. For example, it is used on I, heroic. Whenever it is used, you have to pause for a moment. In heroic, whenever you are getting this word, is called heroic in English, but you cannot pronounce at a time. That is heroic. This type of pronunciation you should follow. That is, you have to pause for a moment. Heroic before this accent. This is called aksathrema. There is nothing more than that. The aksathrema, whenever you are getting, you have to pause for a moment. That's all. These are the very important accents: laksa ague, laksa grab, laksa circumflex, laksa sedil, and laksa threma. These 5 accents we have learnt, and these are very important accents in the French language. Without knowing these accents, or without having the sound knowledge of the accents, proper pronunciation of the accents, you cannot speak fluently the language, you cannot write correctly. So this is a very important part. That's all for today's session. I'll be coming with a next video with next important topic of the French grammar. Thank you for watching the video. Bye bye.